Hey guys, it's Sean Zing, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. This is live, I believe, 98 on this year, and I do these to help you, yes, you grow, help you with your business, help with lead generation, networking, non-negotiables, things that are going to take your business to the next level. And it's important that you understand that we do this, we take some time out of our busy day. Yes, we all have busy days, but we have time for this. Some people say, "Oh, I don't have time to do these podcasts or shows or what have you." It's important that you start. And I ask many people to just get on board and just start sharing value. Don't talk about what you do constantly. Help others first. So those that I'm going to bring on today, I'm going to bring them on right now. They're all backstage. I have John Morley. I'm going to have Boris Paisner, and I have Chris Conway. And I want you guys, we're going to be here for about 30 minutes. Definitely take some notes, have some of your water, coffee, protein drinks, whatever you have, and sit back. And we want you to actually implement. So if you implement things, take action, that's what we want to know. So definitely get back to us later on that is what works for you. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you haven't checked out Web Talk, another platform to check out. But I want you all to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let me bring on our guests. Here is John. We have Boris and Chris. What's going on, guys?
Hey, good morning. How's everybody doing this morning?
Thanks for taking some time out, guys. This is going to be a phenomenal time. I like to, again, provide value for everyone that's watching so they learn about things from us. And we're not going to just, yes, we all have something that we are working in. We all have a business, but we also want to help others. And that's the goal of what we're doing today. That's why I brought you guys here to get specifically today. And we have never, I want to make a point, we have never met in person, right?
No,
we have never met
ever, right? It was just through social media, networking, through groups, through me just reaching out. Guys, I think we have some value. Let's drop it out into our communities. And that's how powerful this is. Everyone, I want to make sure everyone we never met. We just, found each other on social media, and we're bringing some major information to you guys today. So I want to start and have each of them introduce themselves. We're going to start with John, then we go to Boris, and then Chris, and then we'll get after it with a number of different value adds for today. So John, please share who you are and what you do.
So I'm a serial entrepreneur. Going to be 30 years this year that I own a technology company, jmore.com. We make IT easy for small businesses all the way up to Wall Street. And then about 7 or 10 years ago, I got tired of paying companies that didn't know how to get the word out about us. So I fired them. And I didn't really know what I was doing in the marketing industry. I knew nothing. And about a few years after that, I decided that I was going to go really cold turkey and invest 150 grand in my first print production machine. About a year ago, I built my first print production and digital center. So now we create everything online and in mail that we do. But the nice thing is that if I want something, which I a lot of times want something, I can have it designed and in the mailboxes within 24 hours, which is pretty powerful. But it's all to me about giving the right message to the client and just being truthful with people. I think that's what it is at the end of the day. It's basically under promising and over delivering.
Got that right for sure. So I appreciate you spending some time today.
My pleasure.
Fantastic, man. Boris.
So good morning. So I am a litigator with Mandelbaum Salzburg. I started practicing law in 2008, which is probably the worst time to start practicing law, right after the economy tanked. 2011 happened. I saved up some money. I did what I thought every normal person would do. I went and started looking for a house to buy for myself, plant some roots. And my realtor, who happened to be my friend, starts talking to me about how he has, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 single family homes, no mortgages, passive cash flow coming in. So I said, I'm not going to buy my own house. I started looking into real estate investing. 9 years later, I own a small portfolio of multifamily homes. Now I buy small multifamilies. I fix them up, hold them. I started growing outwards. I started buying lots of land, building single family homes, buying homes, knocking them down, building homes. And I do all that on the side while full-time I litigate and try to help other people that might have issues going on, legally speaking.
It's awesome, man. Helping others. This is something you're going to hear constantly today. It's important to give that value. So thanks so much, Boris, for joining us today. And Chris.
Yes. Hi, guys. How are you? My name's Chris Conway. I'm the director of the Goldstein Group. We're a Paramus-based retail brokerage firm. Been around, nearly 40 years, specialize in retail shopping centers, investment properties, as well as mixed-use projects. Prior to this, I was actually, and listening to Boris's story is kind of funny, I was in the financial industry. The day I got my Series 7, the Dow actually dropped 777 points. I kind of looked at it like, hey, if it was a slot machine, I'd be pretty happy right now. So maybe there's a good message that could come from it. We started as an FA. I like the profession. I realized, at that time, actually, real estate was kind of the best investment from looking at, our clients' portfolios, and that included, municipal bond holdings that were pledged to leverage real estate at a more favorable, rate as far as financing goes. I made, a healthy income, built a nice nest egg as a currency trader. Started with one, as far as a personal portfolio goes, I started 1 2-family home in Union City, New Jersey. Now I'm up to, I have 870 rental apartments in New York and New Jersey, 400 or so multifamily homes. And I actually just completed my 280th flip last week. So, I also, develop for commercial tenants, creditworthy commercial tenants, your CVS's, Wawa's, Quick Checks of the world. So, we're able to create, value add on a triple net basis by identifying piece of property where we know tenants want to be and then go from there. So, now as of 3-4 years ago, I realized now the hardest thing on any development deal in the Northeast is always just the entitlement process. And the fact, you have to buy a right and contractually enter these agreements right, because generally, the difference on a development deal between making money and not making money is usually where the soft costs and the purchase price come in. And you just have to be very, very well capitalized to kind of enter this world now.
No, that's awesome, Chris. Thanks so much for sharing. Thanks so much for being with us today. And for those that are in your networks in your community, my name is Sean Zine, the Connection Machine, aka the Insurance Doctor. I'm the unique insurance broker. I am one that's anyone can do insurance, I always say, but I can help you grow your business. And that's why, we're together today to help you grow your business. Take ideas and tips and tricks and strategies from our guests today and actually implement and take action. So I've been doing this for many years, been doing insurance since 2006. I do residential, I do commercial. I'm in the entire country now, is focused in New Jersey. I can do anywhere in the world, in the country, and I make sure that I'm helping people first. That's why we're having this conversation today. So the more value that I can bring, the more that we're going to do business. They're going to think about us, because we're not just talking insurance or litigation or IT stuff. We're not talking about rentals. We're really diving deeper for some things today as far as non-negotiables, lead generation, and networking online, because a lot of people can't do that in person today. So we're doing things differently. So I want to start off with non-negotiable. What is one non-negotiable that you have to have that will make your day successful? And we'll start with Boris, and then we'll go to Chris, and then John.
It's a good question. I'm a full believer of setting proper expectations, whether it's proper expectations for your clients, proper expectations for the person you're trying to buy a real estate deal from, whatever it is. I mean, if you set proper expectations, your life will be easier, and at the same time, it'll be easier to work with the other person. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. Whatever you do, in my world, I always try to tell you how it is, what I think the result will be, and then that person can make the proper decision for them based on the information that I provide to them.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for sharing, Boris. Chris.
I think kind of to a little bit of a continuation on what Boris said. We have a saying in the real estate world, especially the commercial world, that time kills all deals. And it's, it doesn't. It does. It's the deal process, the deal cycle is extremely long in the commercial world. Whether it's on an acquisition or on a lease, especially dealing with the larger national tenants. What I would say is my non-negotiable is I will never be the person during the day that delays an already long cycle. So in other words, if, when you say the timing would kill a deal, yeah, but you can't allow it to happen on your side. So if you are moving forward, the other side really does not have an excuse for, dragging their feet or, moving along expeditiously. So that's my non-negotiable. And I find that, as with trading or buying, I almost look at it, always hedging and to say, I'm going to buy a property and the worst case scenario, I'm not going to lose. It's going to bring me back this income based on what's there. And if I get it approved, I can do this. I think that's ultimately the way that, the reciprocal effect of moving things forward every day is you're making progress in the deal in some way. Even if you don't see it on paper at the end of the day. And that's the only thing you can do.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. And John.
So I have to chime and agree with the point of accountability, because that was one of the first comments I made about, basically to under promise and over deliver. But another real biggie for me that I want to just add to the table is the commitment. And this goes not just once the relationship has been built, but in the very beginning. So what do I mean? You figure that if we're in a virtual world, there can't be commitment. Well, that's wrong. We use an automated calendaring system. We're all busy, right? So anybody that says they're busy, those are the people you want to connect with. 15 minutes with us is what people want. I mean, we're a catch. Okay, let's face it. We want other people like that, right? If people have 2-3 hours, well, they're not going to be able to probably do anything with us. So my big thing is commitment. If you say on the calendar, you're meeting me at 10:30, okay? And obviously emergencies come up. I get that. I don't let anybody break an appointment unless it's 24 hours, some emergency pending. So if they break an appointment with me, they can set another appointment with me. But the second time they set an appointment, I little thing, by the way, you missed the first appointment. Just want to let you know, here's the second one. If you miss the second appointment, which you absolutely can do, you won't be able to book another appointment with me for 30 days. Oh, I think our time is valuable. We need to set the standard of that, because when people understand that, oh, wait, I can't. Yeah, you're just going to wait and your project's going to wait too. Oh, yeah. Start realizing that if you are on time, you're late. A very good limo company taught me this many years ago, because, we've all had limo drivers and they don't pick you up on time. You always wonder, are they there? Are they there? If you're on time, you're late. So I'm like, yeah, he's like, I'm always early. You tell me to be here 5:30, I'll be here 5. I'm like, oh, wow. So you never have to worry. And I think that's something we just have to bring to our A game, is that we have to set the standard of what we want in a client. We have to train them. And if they don't want to play ball with us, well, then they shouldn't be in our ballpark. I'm sorry.
Excellent answers, guys. Excellent answers. And for those that are watching, if you're on Facebook, if you're in the group, if you're on YouTube, please hashtag live if you're watching live, hashtag replay on the replay. If you have questions for us, if you have any comments, please don't hesitate. Drop a comment. We would get back to you after the live for sure. I believe my non-negotiable is consistency. No matter what you do, if you're going to put yourself out there with using video, if you're going to do different things as far as networking, if you're going to get into exercising, being consistent is a huge player in everything you do. I believe cold calling is key. Oh, I don't cold call. I don't cold call. I call it connection call, because every call that I make, it's going to go one way or the other, because I'm going to find out what your pain points are. And maybe I'm calling you and just to have a conversation. I do insurance, but maybe you need someone to do a refinance. I have a guy. Maybe you need somebody that needs an attorney. I got a guy. This is how every connection call is going to be successful, because that's how my mindset is going into it. It's not something I'm going to sell somebody on this phone call, because nobody gets sold on the first call anyway. It takes 5 to 7, contacts before that happens, because you're building a relationship. So consistency in my book is so huge, and I love it. Yeah, being on time, you're late for sure. You have to make sure you are on time, but you're early. That's so key. So I appreciate, all these awesome value nuggets that we're dropping. If you're not writing some stuff down while you're listening, I don't know, you might have to hit the replay button when we're done later. So I want to go into lead generation, because a lot of people in the world that I have, as far as my community, are real estate agents, financial advisors, accountants, some insurance brokers, and they all think they have to buy leads, or they have to, in the real estate world, go and spend money with Zillow. There's other opportunities, and I love to hear what others are doing to lead generate, to make those phones ring for you and your team and your business. So we'll start with Chris, then we'll go to John, then Boris.
Absolutely. In, real estate, you have either the tenant or, the buyer, or you have, the landlord or the asset. Goldstein, for the years, built their reputation on being mainly a landlord representation firm. We do have, a lot of now key national tenant accounts. Where these leads come in, I like going through actual centers of influences. So real estate attorneys, people that focus on, commercial real estate, commercial real estate insurance, CPAs that have, books of business of 250 plus high net worth individuals, mainly in the commercial real estate field. There's a reason why certain people use certain attorneys, use certain CPAs. It's all like a network that kind of spins off. We do the same thing on the tenant side. Culturally, we like to, develop into a certain types of culture by knowing and respecting the way that they do business. Most of, a lot of the franchisees we work with in the QSR world are of Indian descent. Now, second generation, they're becoming larger and larger by accumulating, more stores. Some of them are now, up to 250 plus. There's a reason why these individuals all know each other and knew each other before they went into business. There's a lot that happens with these things behind the scenes. And I think too, when you're kind of an outsider looking into a culture, if you, know and respect the people that you're talking about by taking the time to learn about them, that goes a very, very long way. So do I go after individual properties? Yes, because a lot of times you'll find, things are owned in trust, and, you can be referred to another owner. But mostly I like going after, the professionals that have huge books of business. And I always said the greatest compliment I've ever got was getting a call from a client on a property that I wasn't even working with this individual on. And he was just asking my input and what he thought he should do long-term on it. And that's how you're always going to be in the mix of professionals that they use.
Because you're a resource to your clients or prospects is huge. So that I definitely agree for sure. So thanks so much, Chris. John.
So I've always been a networker for my entire life. But I think we can all agree, guys, that networking has changed throughout the years. I mean, there was the time that everybody wanted to get on that boat where they would have a fee for these to get a ticket, to basically get online to try to meet people. And half the people were there for the food. I wasn't. And, we had two pockets, the left pocket and the right pocket. And when you'd go there, you'd talk to somebody and you get their card after you talk to them. But then you always get this joker that comes up to you and tries to shove a card in your face. And I'm like, just hang on a second. It's like, so no, just take my card. I'm like, I'll take your card, but it's going to go in my left pocket. Like, I don't care. I said, no, my left pocket, when I get off the boat, gets thrown in the garbage. He looked at me and like, get it. So you got to have a connection. And I think people don't get that. The biggest thing I'm going to tell you with resources, yeah, I believe in that. So I give lots of value. I have a tech talk show, and I don't charge 1 penny to be on the Jay Moore Tech Talk Show. I want to provide value, and I tell people it's not a sales show. We interview people about technology. They're not going to sell anything. And I do a pre-interview with them to make them sure they understand that You're not selling your product. You're not telling about it. You're telling about the value of it. I had a gentleman the other day and he's like, well, we do this better. I'm like, I don't care that you do this better. I want to know what you would teach somebody coming out of college. Oh, you're not getting it. You keep going back to selling. We're not selling things. They'll turn you right off. Oh, so when we give tips out, I'm also the host of the Happy Neighborhood Project in New Jersey. Why do I do that? Because I want to help people. I want to connect people. And I know that right away, I'm not going to get something, but that's okay. It's about the connections, and they're going to remember me because of the way I connected them with somebody, the way I helped somebody, or just the fact, like you mentioned before, that they came out back to you because you weren't even the person on the deal. I've had lots of times somebody says to me, hey, John, what should we do in this digital marketing? I'm like, all right, well, I'll look at it. I'm not going to tell them what to do, but I'll give them some advice. Then when they ask you to do it for you, well, that becomes, another story. But I think when somebody, like you said, Chris, is that, somebody actually trusts you enough to want to do business with you, even though if they didn't make the decision this time, I'm like, hey, it's okay. Next time when you guys have a marketing campaign, give us a shot. You might be pretty happy. I mean, we reach over 1 million people and we guarantee that. Oh, and they just kind of like, it's more of a political thing with some of them. So I tell them it's about value. It's no sweat. We're going to be here. We've been here for a long time and we're going to keep being here. So, when you need something, reach out. We're not going anywhere. So I think a lot of times when it comes to leads, everybody says, well, you have to buy them. So social media is very important. We have a very active social media campaign, but none of our social media sells. It's all about something creative. Sometimes we'll say, hey, do you want one of these? But it's never a hard sell. It's like, gee, what do you think of this? What are your comments? Stuff like that. As far as, integrating your social media to your website, also making sure that you use LinkedIn. I have probably over 4,000 connections on LinkedIn. That's a whole other story. But the thing is, it's not about selling to them. It's about building this relationship. And everybody comes to me and they all say, gee, I want to be part of your LinkedIn. Okay, well, who are you? I'd like to get to know you. Well, we'll talk later. I'm like, no. I want to know what you do first before we connect. Or, hey, I saw you. Let's connect. Great. I'm so glad you read my profile, that you took the time to get to know me. What is it that made you want to connect with me? I don't know. So why would I even want to have a conversation with this person? I mean, just be genuine, be honest. And that's how I build relationships. It's just about helping them. And sometimes in the darkest place, when you won't expect it, this person says, oh, I have somebody for you. And you just can't be looking for it. I can't tell you how many times in the chamber where I've connected somebody to another person like, oh, gee, that's great. We did that. And the way I measure success in the chamber is taking it from 0 to over 50 members right now. I did all that. But it wasn't about bragging with the chamber. It was just like, how can I help you? When a new member joins, it's not that they're a member, a number. How can I help you? What can I do for your business? What can we do? So we give a free press exposure. So what do? My PR company doesn't charge a dime, and I donate all the graphics and PR for new members. Again, doesn't cost me anything, but it gives a good PR and it gives a good feeling to people. Hey, he's trying to help me. I didn't make him pay me a dime. So I think you have to give something. I'm not saying to give your whole shirt and we don't design a whole magazine for them, but hey, if my graphic team has to spend a half hour, an hour putting an ad together, hey, well, John's team did this for me and they did a great job. Wow, they did that? Yeah. Oh, we should talk about our other product. So that's what's going to happen. Chris helped us on this, or Boris helped us with that. That was a great question. Wow, we really should talk to him when we get ready to do this. And I think that's the bottom line, is that if you're going to go buy leads or you're going to go buy an email list, don't do that. You're going to destroy your reputation, and you're going to come off as what we call the quote-unquote spammer. Send people information that is of value to you and their industry and get their feedback and have dialogues about it. That's not spam. Spam is defined when you send a mass message to a general audience. If you send a message to even a mass audience, but it has a specific approach, that's not spam. Like you're sending all the realtors, and I'm saying that's not spam. I wanted to let you know about an issue that they're having with inspectors, want to get your feedback. That's not spam. But if I send that to every industry, now I'm spamming and hoping that I'm going to catch anything to this thing. So just be mindful when you do stuff, because it's going to come back and bite you. And just realize that if you know that you go to bed at night and you can't sleep, then you've done something wrong. When you've done something wrong. And I'll end with this, is that a lot of times people go and buy a license from Microsoft and they type in Microsoft license online. And I had a client and they said to me, well, gee, how much did you pay for the license? I said, she said about $49. I said, okay. She installed it. And I said, what'd you have to do? She said, well, I had to go through like 6 steps. Now, when you're going through 6 steps to install a license, to have to go to some site to convert something, I'm sorry. That's not legitimate. You know it's wrong. You know you should be paying the $100, $200, and you're wrong. And so I think we know when we're doing something wrong. We don't need a book. We don't need anybody to tell us. We have our conscience. And if we can reflect on that, that's really what other people want. They want a good moral sense and judge.
Awesome. Well said. Value, value, value for sure, John. Thank you so much. And Boris.
So I got to piggyback on what everybody said and what's been the theme of your show, right? Which is add value. I'm very big on educating people in the legal field. We always write articles, try to educate people on the new laws that come out. A couple months ago, when COVID happened, New York quickly passed a law. There's essentially a law now that prevents landlords from enforcing personal guarantees on commercial leases. So the first thing I did was I wrote some articles about it. Just educate people, make them feel comfortable. I'm sure somebody has that issue in the world. What are they going to do? They're going to go to Google. They're going to want to read about it, educate themselves about it. So be really good at educating people on topics and essentially building relationships by making them comfortable. Give them knowledge, educate them, answer their questions. I'm really big on educating my clients, keeping in constant contact with them. If they have a piece of litigation, if they're being sued or if they're suing somebody, it's usually really important to them. And it might be the only time ever that they're going to have a litigation going on in their lives. So it's very big on building that level of trust with them so that they're comfortable. And as a result, if you do a really good job, they're going to tell other people, hey, my attorney is really good. He kept me abreast the whole time. I didn't get surprise bills from him. I knew what he was doing the whole way. And I think that power of education, I think that it works in every field, right? A couple years ago, maybe 7 years ago, we were fixing up a house in East Orange. The house next door was abandoned, locked up, abandoned. We were there for like 7 months. Not a single person went there. So we located the owner in Las Vegas. I call him up. I say, hey, listen, I want to buy your house. How do we make that happen? His first words, oh, I filed for bankruptcy. I don't own the house. Whoa, not so fast, not so fast. So I explained to him, what the law is on that, the fact that he still owes the house. He just might not be responsible for the debt on the house. And I explained to him how I could help him essentially escape that debt and put some money in his pocket and accomplish my goal, which was buying that house. I made him feel comfortable and frankly, comfortable enough that I was able to send him certain documents to sign, and he's never met me. I was a voice on the telephone that I talked to a couple of times. But I educated him on the process, and he felt comfortable enough to trust me to then sign these documents and allow me to negotiate with the bank and buy that house. So I think it's all about the power of education, and that's really what you're seeing on Facebook now, right? That's the trend. Everybody's putting educational videos out there, how to do this, walk through my flip here, read my article there. So it's just give people value, build relationships with people, and frankly, just be really, really good at your job.
Well said. Thank you. I want to share with lead generation, with social media, you want to use the rule of 4. You want to teach, motivate. You could also do a conversation starter. And then you're going to do something, a sales call to action. If you're always doing sales call to actions for every freaking post you do out there, oh, list with me, buy with me, or you want to refinance, call me. That's not going to get you leads. But if you consistently use the rule of 4, you're teaching, you're motivating, you're doing conversation starters, so you get not just likes and loves, you're getting comments, you're getting engagement. That's where you have a better post. If you have 600 likes, that's nothing in my world. If I can get 250 comments, that's monstrous. And as simple posts, you can be adding value, and that's where you're going to get a lot of reach. So keep that in mind, guys that are watching. I want to round out our conversation today, and this is perfect for John to start it off. What is one tip? We're going to end with one tip on networking online to help those that are watching take their business to the next level. And I'm telling them to start today. Oh, I'm going to start next in January. No. Start now. This is the time to start planting seeds networking now for next year. If you want to have a killer next year, 2021, because 2020 for all of us, we want this freaking year to end. But 2021, start networking now and you'll see what happens. What is one tip you would give, John?
One quick tip is I've always been more pro to LinkedIn. I've been a little on Facebook now, but more of my network has always been LinkedIn. I will tell you this, so many people that I talk to don't really take the time to put in who they are in LinkedIn. They put their job down. You know, when you do something like you volunteered for a kid's soccer thing, or you were a coach, or I'm president of a chamber, that's a job title, guys. Put that in there. Show the community what you're doing. Now, don't put an update every freaking week, okay? Maybe a couple times a year, put in, like when I became Happy Neighborhood co-host several months ago, I put that in there. And, you know, I got several people that congratulated me. The other thing I'll tell you is go back and stroke a few people's egos. Endorse some people. Maybe some people that you think based on their information, and endorse them. And you're going to see that they're going to probably want to do something nice for you. But take some time and write your LinkedIn profile correctly. Check for spelling, grammar issues, and make it sound like something, because you only get 8 to 10 seconds to connect with somebody. And if you do it wrong, well, you're not going to connect with that person again. And don't ever ask somebody to connect with you if you haven't first seen if you can give them value, because that's just wrong.
Awesome. Well said, John. Boris.
My big thing is just ask questions. If you don't understand something, if you see somebody posting something on Facebook and you're friends with them, and they're building a house and you have questions, ask them questions. Most people like to talk about their business. They like to talk about what they're up to. They like to educate other people. Just ask questions. If you ask them questions, you'll connect with that person, and then the sky's the limit. One of my partners that I do deals with now, just somebody that connected with me on Facebook. He started asking me questions. I talked about my business. He talked to me about his, and next thing you know, we're meeting up for coffee, and then on we went. So just ask questions. That's my big thing.
Thanks, Boris. And Chris.
I mean, you know, as far as the key to networking, I would simplify it as much as in two parts. One, make sure that everybody around you and that can view you, whether it's on social media, in person, driving by, lives in your development, knows exactly what you do. And the second part is let them know that you know your trade. Because I find so much gets lost in conversation, especially initially with people. And I see this mainly in the guys a little younger than me. And again, I'm not knocking that, you know, a lot of them are very capable, but they're kind of the social media generation that did not have as much of the face-to-face. You can pick up, you know, 94% of communication is still nonverbal. You can pick up a tremendous amount in body language and things like that. And that can, you know, that applies to tone in conversation as well versus the actual words. Yeah, you can be having a conversation, you know, say about insurance, but specifically, you know, you could be talking to two partners that by deciphering and listening to what they say and what their concerns are, even though they don't say directly, you can know that, you know, they need, you know, trust in estate planning or partnership buy sell agreement, something like that, by listening to what they're saying. And again, it applies to Facebook, LinkedIn. So, you know, make sure everyone knows what you do, and then make sure everyone knows that you know what you're doing.
I agree. I want to end on, as far as with networking, start having more video calls. A lot of people use the phone. Yes, call, please call people. A lot of people use the text message and email. Call, but have a video call. And you see their mannerisms, see their body language. You actually get to know who they are. I appreciate taking some time out of your days that we're all getting to know each other today in a short 30-minute bout. If you think about it, if people started doing these, you know, have 3 or 4 of them a day, look at the amount of volume of relationships that you can grow in a short period of time, no matter where you are in the world. So it's very key today to use the technology, but also see the face-to-face, build relationships, and always ask and how you could help them.
And I'm wearing pants for the record.
Let's end on how those that are watching can get in contact with you guys. If you guys can give your cell phone, if you're privy for that, or an office number, an email. Let's have Chris, well then Boris, and then John.
Office number with Goldstein Group, Paramus, New Jersey, 45 Eisenhower. Office number 201-703-9700, extension 143. Voicemail comes right through to my cell. Email cconway@thegoldsteingroup.com. That's all one word. Let me just look up my handle here for Twitter. I am at retail_RE. Instagram at retail_CRE. Get me on any one of those, and Facebook, Chris Conway. I also have a Facebook page called Retail Real Estate as well.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
So you could reach me by contacting me via email. My office is in Roseland, New Jersey. I work for Mandelbaum Salzburg. We have a website. I think it's lawfirm.ms. And then my email is my first initial B, my last name at lawfirm.ms. So I'm really easy to reach. You could drop me an email, and I'm happy to connect with anybody.
Thank you, Boris and John.
So the easiest way to reach me, I'm happy to give you one of my businesses, which is on my marketing company. Just 973-291-6271 at the auto attendant dial 108. And when you dial me, we believe in talking to people. So 99.9% of the time, you're going to get me on the phone because our system actually will try to find me. We believe in not hiding from phone calls and actually talking to our clients, which is a new concept. But if you do want to connect with me online, you can go to linkedin.com/in/my name, John, JOHNCMORLEYIV. And I would love to talk to you about giving you a network tip, helping you, answering a question, and just making sure you understand what not to do.
Thank you, John. If anyone that's in John, Boris, and Chris's network, you could always go to sean-zeem.webcards.biz, my digital business web card. We actually created a couple months before the pandemic happened. All great content information is there. I also answer my phone, and we make sure we try to grow business together. So I appreciate everyone, sharing major value today, taking time out of their busy day on this Saturday to give this information to our communities. And those that are watching, we hope you have an awesome rest of your day. And likewise, guys, I hope you guys have an awesome day yourselves.
You too.
Yeah, you too, guys. Thanks so much.
Take care.
Take care, guys.
Guys, thanks again. Take care, Sean.